In today's video, we're going to be revisiting F1 2021, my first year in Ferrari, my first virtual Ferrari car in the F1 game series. So I'm very excited to get back and take a trip down memory lane. Let's get into the video and straight into the heart of the action. We are here back on F1 2021, driving a very special car close to my heart. It is my first virtual Ferrari in the Formula 1 game. Of course, 2021 was my first season joining the team in red. So I'm looking forward to getting back and driving this car. This is the setup for today's video. And as well, we're going to be starting on the soft compound tires, going to mediums later in the stint. 29.0 kg of fuel on board the car, as well as we're getting ready for lights out. And away we go here in Portimao. Of course, they raced this fantastic track in the 2021 season, and it is wonderful in every regard, as we're going to try and go around the outside of the AI, who are clumping up a little bit in turn 1, but even more so in turn 3. Bit of a squeeze on the power. Lovely. Oh, we're understeering wide, almost in the gravel. That wasn't as good as I was expecting it to be. We're only in P17. Okay, we need to be making up ground quick time. Looking to the outside of the AI here. That was a bit tight on the white line, but nevertheless, get the car rotated, squeeze the power, and we have made up 3 positions in that one apex alone. Such a difficult track, Portimao is, especially on the 2021 game. So much oversteer on that Pacific corner as well. Using the overtake button right up behind Yuki. We're going to fake him and just send up the inside. There's actually contact on the apex there, but I had my car sufficiently at the apex, so I think I can claim the corner. We're going to quickly have a little replay of that as well. Yeah, I was there. Anyway, cracking on. All the forcing back is super heavy for some reason. Jesus. Yeah, the forcing back was also a little bit weird, because the drivers are really different, of course. Now this game is coming out, well, it's when F1 25 comes out, it's 4 cycles ago, the game. So, of course, the firmware, PC updates, etc. are a bit out of sync, so I don't expect everything to be feeling top-notch, but hopefully it'll be feeling good as we go throughout the race. 72% on the battery as we approach turn 1. Didn't really gain that much on the AI there, but in the braking zone of corner 2, we gained a lot. Actually had to check up our car quite considerably to not hit the back of Alonso, rising over the top of the crest of the hill. DRS is not going to be enabled till lap 3 on this game, as we're going down the inside of Alonso, getting the place. He had a wretched weekend in Miami. Hopefully they can bounce back stronger as well. Speaking of his current team, Aston Martin, as we're having a big tail slapper. I don't really know what to call it. A big tail oversteer. The rear of the car was not gripping. That's not what we was meaning to be having to say there. But we're going to be cracking on with the rest of this lap here. 68% on the battery, having to get back into the flow of things, looking after the rear grip. As I said, on lap 1, the rear of the car can be very unsteady, uneasy, lacking grip, lacking confidence around this track, especially in the middle sector with the undulations up, down, and throwing side to side like you're on a roller coaster. DRS is still not enabled. Alonso is not close enough to do anything to us as we do a 19.1 across the start-finish line heading on to lap 3. DRS will be enabled on this lap, so we need a good turn 1 closing into Lance Stroll. Are we close enough to send it? We're going to certainly try. Down the inside, there's contact on the apex. So the AI are clearly turning in a bit more aggressively as they do on the previous games. We're going to take a quick replay at that, because it was completely my fault. I sent it in, day late and $1 short, as Martin Brendon would be saying. And yeah, I think we should give that place to Lance Stroll, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to lift up on the straight, give him back the place, let him stay ahead for the full corner, as we're going to be now going around the apex here. I have red lights on my wheel LED, but there's not a red flag, so I presume that's just a glitch, and not actually meaning to be happening, although that's quite weird and quite funny, as I thought there was going to be a red flag on the track. until I realized it probably is just a glitch with the LEDs. So we've lost a lap here in the race, just being stuck behind Lance Stroll now from my own mistake, sending it too aggressively in the right hand of corner 3. Gonna have to do better as well. There's actually a small chip on the front wing. You might be able to see it just briefly actually. When we're turning the car, you can see the front wing end plate coming to view, and you can see that it's slightly chipped. Maybe as well when we're going through the first sector you can see it. Just keep an eye out for it as we're going to be opening DRS as well. The rear tyres are starting to dig away from us. Good first turn will be nice and lovely here. A bit closer to Lance Stroll in previous lap, but we're not going to do the same thing again. We're not going to punt him. Not ideal through there. Really struggling to get the car rotating in those situations. We need to get a move on though compared to Lance Stroll. We're going to be holding back the overtake button. Too far away. We need to be getting it done. Yeah, you can actually see it there. When we was going for the left-hander, the front wing end plate is a little bit damaged. So hopefully that's not going to be costing us too much performance. But again, it's completely my fault, as taking the curb maybe isn't the solution there. The rear of the car squirming around for grip, traction, potential, and it's just not finding it. Having to try and get back in the flow of this year's game. It just feels so different to F1 24 as well, you know, like it sometimes blows my mind just how much the game evolves, especially with the regulation cycles from year to year, and just how different the feeling is of trying to extract performance. Max Verstappen does purple fastest lap. We did purple sector 1, but I doubt we're going to get the fastest lap overall, and we don't. Right, we're going to stay nice and close to Lance Stroll, so then maybe we can have a dive into corner 3 and do it successfully, unlike previous laps. Very nice and close now, and this should be my position. Nicely claimed. We do still go deep on the apex though. That's really strange. We need to work that out. It feels like we're locking up, but we're not, as Lance Stroll is actually going to be coming back at us down the inside into the hairpin. So the AI are very aggressive on this year's game, and he actually is almost going to be getting that place back from us, running side by side up the hill. As we ride into the right hander, we should have the inside line, and we cut off his outside line. Jeff, I didn't ask, mate. As we're focusing on trying to get past and keep the position on Lance Stroll. Good final sector is necessary right now to close into the DRS detection of Kimi Räikkönen. Otherwise, we're going to be completely vulnerable to Lance Stroll re-overtaking us with superior top speed with his DRS enabled. Seems like we've got there. Just have to make sure we don't mess up the exit here. And we're going to have a good DRS and a good gap to Lance Stroll as well, heading on to the pit straight, starting lap 6 in this race. We've been able to go up into P11 thus far. Should be boxing around lap 9, maybe lap 8 of this race. Going by the pre-race strategy, that was quite good through turn 1. Trying not to understeer through here. Actually got too much turn in that time. You can still see adapting, learning the game, getting back in the flow of the game. It's not always easy just to get straight back in. We're going to try and put in the brake bias a little bit forward, actually. 51. See if that's going to help me. Because at the moment, I just feel like a little bit of rear instability, you know? And she'll go 52. See if we can start getting the fronts to lock. Then once we know if the front's going to lock, then we can start managing the rears. That was much better through the right-hander. Maybe putting the brake bias was the trick that we needed all along in this race. Like I say, it's only been 6 laps. So it hasn't been that long. But now we go through the right-hander. Really satisfying with the curves. I always really enjoyed trying to push the car's limits around this track. Very difficult as Kimi Räikkönen makes a mistake, but we're not close enough to capitalize on it right now. Although we are going to stay nice and close. The AI do seem to have superior top speed to us. So I think it probably won't be worth using the battery on the DRS straight to try and overtake Kimi, but actually got the inside of corner 2, I think might be the way. So we're going to lift the throttle early, try to recover a little bit of battery, quick through turn 1, back early on the power, big oversteer, track limit invalidation warning, but we have got the car down the inside of corner 2, well, corner 3 actually, and we have kept the DRS to Carlos Sainz as well. DRS is going to be open, Kimi is going to be too far away, and that is us into the points paying positions, and starting to close in on our teammate. 44% left on the battery, 41 as we get towards the end of the straight. Trying not to get an invalidation like the last lap. And now through the right hand, there are a lot of cars close together, and that 52% brake bias is seeming to work like a dream. As we up through the hill, through the right hander, get the car rotated nicely. There might have been a visual bug there. I just saw something fly off the car. Might have just been my vision. I might just be seeing things, who knows. But we've been able to dispatch of Kimi Raikkonen up to 9 tenths away already as we're going through the right hander. A few stabs at the turn-in. Kimi is going to be in the DRS of us, but we are going to be comfortably behind Carlos Sainz. Maybe we can play the same trick to him that we have done to the AI of Lance Stroll, Kimi Raikkonen as well, by diving up the inside of corner 3. We're quite far back, so we need an exceptional corner 1. Are we going to get it? Turn 1 is good, but it's not going to be good enough. There's a yellow flag. I don't actually have my mini-map turned on for some reason in this race. So I don't really know what's happening. I don't know where they are. But we're going to have the DRS wide open with an overtake button enabled. And looking down the inside of our teammate. Taking the apex. Taking the track position. Up into P9. And look at this train of cars up ahead. Sainz is out of our slipstream behind us. So not going to be a threat going into double right-hander. Feeling so much more confident. Well, I was literally just saying, I was feeling so much more confident that I got a big snap of oversteer. Sainz is up behind us. We are going to have to go a bit defensive into the right-hander. The AI do seem very aggressive on this year's game. More aggressive than I remember them to be. But then again, it was quite a long time ago. And I wasn't really doing races against the AI back then. So it is a situation that I can't take it too easy against them right now. Otherwise, they might overtake me, and that will not be good for our race. I can see now some AI are boxing up ahead. That leaves us with a clear track to try and capitalize. 1.8 to Ricardo up ahead. We're going to, of course, lose DRS on the end of sector 1, but let's see what we can do with this clean air up ahead. Try to put in the lap of the race for ourselves so far. Of course, won't be fastest lap as we are planning to box. But if we can start closing in to Danny Rick up ahead, possibly putting ourselves in a position to overcut AI, then that can help our race massively. Obvious statement, I know, as we're rising up over the hill. 1.6 seconds to Ricardo. So I think we have gained a little bit. That was scary. Okay, we only lost a little bit through there. We didn't lose too much, fortunately. I did lose my dignity, as that was a bit of a scream. And now coming back down the crest of the hill. We do a green middle sector. So even with that big old snap of oversteer, was able to do a very competitive time. So you can see just we have been clearly losing time in dirty air as we're over pushing the car, and that's our second track limit of the race. I thought we was going to get away with that, but clearly not. Coming into the pit lane, have to be a bit careful here, as the pit lane line is quite treacherous, as we're now trundling down the pit lane here in Portimao. I like it. I don't have to do anything on this year's game. I don't remember anyway. All I have to do is go into my pit box, then change my tyre. It's very shadowy here. And then away we go. Ooh, we're nice and close to Ricardo. That's lovely jubbly. Cheers, Ferrari. Where is my pit exit button? Well, my pit lane limiter button off. Where is it? Oh, bugger, where is it? Where? Oh, right. We're going to have to quickly map it here. I clearly don't. Where's my button? Where's my button? Where's pit lane off? Pit lane limiter. Oh, it's the same as that. Okay, we're just going to put it to 2. Okay, lovely jubbly. Well, that's been a bit of a disaster. That has not been ideal. Well, this series and pit lane have not been my friends. I probably should have mapped that button before going into the race, but hey-ho. When I'm back on F121 in like 10 years' time through another revisiting video, then I'll remember. And I'll make sure to get off the pit limiter faster. But we do have an opportunity to make up for our time. To be fair, though, we're only... That was almost a track limit and a 3-second penalty. We're only 2.5 seconds behind Danny Rick. And considering we went into the pit lane 1.6 seconds behind, even 1.9 it might have been, I can't remember exactly, means that we haven't lost too much to him.
Carlos is in the pits.
Didn't ask. Anyway, through the left-hander. Really difficult to get back on the power here. Almost broken the DRS for George. We have broken the DRS for George. Closing the gap as well to Danny Rick. Just slightly trying not to go off track again. Otherwise I will pick up a 3-second penalty. Interesting to see where Carlos Sainz comes out. Quite simply because he was behind us. And with my mistake, costing multiple seconds on the pit lane exit. Let's see if he's been able to overcut us. And I think he has. As Kimi Räikkönen is coming out of the pit lane up ahead. And we have to check up on the brakes. And now, there might have been a little bit of contact in the braking zone. I might have squeezed him by mistake there. Oh well. Cracking on now. We have lost 1.9 seconds to Carlos Sainz, who's on the hard compound tyre. So, he got sent longer than me. And now he's on the harder tyre than me. That's interesting. As we got 9/10 to Mick Schumacher up ahead. Of course, I think this was his debut year in Formula 1. As we're trying to close in on him to capitalise. And we'll be looking to strike on corner 3 on the following lap. If we can get everything hooked up in this final sector. And the start of sector 1 as well. To get nice and close. To have a look, have a lunge, have an opportunity at getting our positions back. Quite a train of cars. Max Verstappen is already at the start-finish line. He's already done the fastest lap. So he is checking out in the race lead. A very Max Verstappen-esque circuit this is. Very peaky, very much needing a good front end, controlling the rear tyre slip as well down the straight. Purple final sector though. So we're not too bad on the pace. Should be nice and close to Schumacher going through turn 1. And corner 3 is going to be my position. AI fighting up ahead. That's good for us. Again, running wide. It's a very strange feeling in the car there. A lot of fighting. So maybe, just maybe, we can get to the head of this train. Mick is too far behind to do anything. AI fighting very aggressively. If that can be a podium paying position, I'm not too sure if it is. But if it is a podium paying position, that will be lovely jubbly. That'll be lovely jubbly. Through the right-hander. Luckily not picking up a big snap of oversteer. I think that is a podium paying position. Right, let's crack on and get to work then. We've got 5 laps to be making up a lot of positions. Corner 3 could be my best friend. If I can actually get on with it and have a better pace than I just had on that corner. Look at this. Signs. Beep beep. Get out the way. Get out of the way. Come on. Beep, 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 beep. Right. We're probably not going to be able to get past him on the pit straight. Otherwise, we'll end up wasting a lot of our battery. Probably what's going to be better is if we stay behind him, lift the throttle a little bit to harvest and save a bit of battery right now. Have a good turn 1. And then we can get up the inside of corner 3. Come on. Leigh is faster than you. See you later. AI fighting up ahead, close to Danny Rick. Hello, Danny Rick. I remember seeing you in pit lane exit before I made my mistake. And now looking down the inside. That's my position. Thank you, sir. And you will not be having a say in that. Next up, Sergio Perez, of course, linked with Cadillac. Hopefully he is back in Formula 1. I would like to see it. I would like to see what he can do as well. Of course, he had a bit of a turmoil, well, to say the least, had a bit of a turmoil seasons towards the end of time in Red Bull. But seems the relative performance from Lawson and Yuki seems like he wasn't doing that bad, in all honesty. So let's see how he gets on with Cadillac if he does end up there. Why is my MFD flashing up? I did not ask you to do that. But apparently we have 10% tyre wear. Nice and close behind Sergio Perez right now. 44% on the battery. Probably same strategy. Gonna avoid using battery on this straight. So then we can save it. Have a little look down the inside of corner 3. Stay close and nice behind Checo. Through turn 1. Good exit. Your position is mine, sunshine. Ooh, we almost ran into the back of Bottas there. It didn't look that close, but I thought I was going to. Rising up over the crest of the hill. DLS wide open now. We're not going to be close enough to get up the inside of Bottas here, even if we use a lot of the battery. But can we get around the outside? that is a dream too far away. That is not going to be happening in a month full of Sundays. But now we're pretty close to Bottas. So just need to not make a mistake here. And maybe we can get up the inside of double right-hander. Okay, we made a mistake there. Our exit was terrible, but we're going to use battery to compromise and hide our mistake as we go up the inside. There was contact with Yuki on this corner earlier, but was able to get through just about cleanly on that situation. But we need a good final complex of corners here to stay in the DLS of Lando Norris. Through the right-hander. 8 attempts. Back on the power. Come on. There we go. Lovely jubbly. And we have broken the DLS to Valtteri Bottas as well. So that's double trouble. That's worked out a dream for us. DRS open, not fastest lap of the race, but personal best lap of the race. Are AI going to fight? They are. That is lovely to see. Through turn 1. Oh, that's almost a track limit invalidation. That is not what we would want to see in our situation. Nice and close to Norris. Hello, Norris. Give me your position. Please. Of course, manners are always important, even when racing. Thank you very much. Down the inside. Oh, there was contact at the apex. I think we need to get that back. Yeah, we'll get that back. We'll get that back. We'll get that back. Because, of course, manners are always important. And we did kind of send it and make contact at the apex. I do feel like he turned in on me. But I'm always going to say that. As my own defense. Through the right-hander. Back on the power. Need a good final seat for the corners here as we're coming up to ending lap 15. Lap 16, of course, is starting next, as that's how counting works. And now through the right-hander. Vettel on the hard compound tyres. So interesting to see how his hard tyres fare and how they hold up on the final laps of this race. Lando's a bit further behind compared to last lap, mainly due to my sends. And we're going to be trying to get a good run through turn 1, get up the inside of Lando as well, and continue with our normal games, our normal overtaking spots, where we are going to be too far away on this instance right now. Through the right-hander. Decent rotation, struggling to get confidence back on the power as we rise up and over the crest of the hill. Will be a new personal best in Sector 1 by almost 2 attempts. But the AI are pretty quick on this situation as well in the penultimate lap of the race, saving up a little bit of battery. What do you think? Post down in the comments. Are we going to get a podium paying position in this race? Or are we going to fall short? Finish 5th, 4th, or maybe even lower as Charles Leclerc, as we need a good sequence here. Lando seems to be on it. I think if I fight Lando too much right now, it's just going to compromise us in total compared to getting the goal of the podium. I think getting 4th is not too difficult. I can spam battery, extend up the inside, and possibly take the position. But getting 3rd will be the eyes on the prize, the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. But as we enable DLS onto the pit straight for the final time in this race, the final lap of the race, can we do anything? As Lando is not going to go side by side with Sebastian. He's going to stay behind. We're going to try and eye up a good exit. We do need to get Lando here. Despite what I said, if there is a chance to get Seb, we do need to get past Lando here. As he's going defensive. Late on the brakes. Almost runs into the back of Seb. Does Lando. And we get a big kick of a wheel spin on the exit. And we are clean past Lando Norris in this race. A few laps too late. And we've got a middle sector to try and make a miracle happen with Sebastian Vettel. Rising up over the crest. 7 tenths behind. Lewis Hamilton is 18 seconds ahead. I presume with Max Verstappen. It's nuts how quick they are. It is reflection of that season as well. They were on a different planet with how quick they were. Seems like we're not going to be quick enough to get past Sebastian Vettel today though. As Max Verstappen does win the race. Vettel will be in P3 unless he has a stinker with the final corner. Well, he doesn't. And we are going to be in P4. Coming across the line to round out F1 2021. Little 360. Lovely jubbly. So yeah, I've been 2021. That's been revisiting the game. And what a game it was. I think it was generally well loved. And speaking of well loved, driver of the day. Lovely, 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 jubbly. There we go, F1 2021 Revisited. Quite a well-loved game in my opinion. I don't really see many, if any, people speaking badly on this year's game. Clearly, the AI are aggressive and are willing to turn in on you, make overtakes and defend as well. What I like to see, and I do remember slightly the AI being quite good, although I didn't play that much of the AI back in those days. With that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. I've been Brendon Leigh, and I'll catch you next time. Grazie, ciao ciao, bye bye.